You're listening to the REI Marketing Nerds Podcast, the leading resource for real estate investors who want to dominate their market online. Dan Barrett is the founder of AdWords Nerds, a high-tech digital agency focusing exclusively on helping real estate investors like you get more leads and deals online, outsmart your competition, and live a freer, more awesome life. And now, your host, Dan Barrett.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's REI Marketing Nerds podcast. As always, this is Daniel Barrett here from AdWordsNerds.com. How are you? Wonderful people. I hope you are doing great. By the way, if you are listening to this in the podcast version, I'm actually doing this live as a live stream right now on the REI Marketing Nerds Facebook group. As always, you can get there at AdWordsNerds.com/group. Come join the group if you haven't. It's a bunch of wonderful people, really smart people talking about a lot of really smart things, getting more motivated seller leads online, etc., etc. So this week, I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter, and I wanted to share some insights. And the insights that I've gotten are from working with about 100 investors or so that recently ran through a program we called the Search, Click, Convert Bootcamp. Now, this is like we were doing this live. It was like a 3-day live intensive seminar on getting investors from zero to getting their first leads and deal online from Google Ads. And it was just all about getting them from 0 to 60, moving them from absolutely nothing to having something set up that's actually generating leads and deals at a profit. And so, like I said, we ran about 100 people through this course and we ended up getting really great results from it. Actually, I had a lot of students get really great ROI. People are really into the program. And so we're kind of turning it into this kind of ongoing evergreen thing. And as I'm going through that process of kind of reworking some of the material and going back over kind of student feedback, I kind of took some insights from that. And some of it's technical and some of it's kind of psychological. And I think that this is going to apply to you. If you're a real estate investor, you are trying to make it work right now in this market. I'm going to be honest, it's a tough world out there for investors right now. And if you are anywhere near a market, trying to do wholesaling deals, trying to do rehab deals, trying to do lease options, whatever you're trying to do, chances are that you have run into some significant obstacles, like significant competition, significant price inflation, the sellers not really wanting to sell at a discount. You've got competition from all these kind of venture-backed firms. And I'm actually going to be doing a series of podcasts on a lot of the issues that investors are facing. So over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, I'm going to be kind of running you guys in this podcast through a free version of this bootcamp that students just went through. So it's not going to be as in-depth, but I am going to cover basically everything you need to know about why this kind of marketing is more important now for investors than ever before. I'm going to be covering, how to get started, how to pick your keywords, how to pick your market, how to pick your ads, how to do this. And I'm going to be covering it here in the podcast. But before I get into that, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the insights I got from actually running people through this program. And there are two major ones, right? The first is that the technical hurdle is relatively significant, but it's not as significant as people think it is. And let me explain what I mean by that. All right. There is a technical hurdle, a learning curve to doing online marketing for motivated sellers, right? You've got the just figuring out how to where literally logistically, where do you go? How do you set up the account? How do you move the mouse from piece to piece in order to get the settings that you need, right? Just the issue of getting familiarity with the actual knobs and buttons and doodads that are involved in doing this kind of marketing. Then on top of that, you've got the strategic hurdle of just figuring out what you're going to do, right? So it's if you know how to do it, what are you now going to do? What keywords are you going to target? What formats are you going to target those keywords, right? Remember, for every keyword in Google, there's 4 or 5 match types, right? So you've got all that. You've got what zip codes am I going to target? Am I going to target a zip code at all, or a radius or a county or a state or a city or whatever, or Nielsen district or congressional district? Am I going to do retargeting? How do I do that? You've got all these strategic kind of obstacles of figuring that stuff out. And that obstacle is significant, right? it is disingenuous to say, oh, it's super easy. Don't worry about it. It's going to be a breeze, right? Because there is work involved. It's like something I really struggle with kind of other people in my space where everybody wants to say this is the easiest thing in the universe. And it isn't. Like work is involved, just like it's involved with any kind of marketing you are ever going to do. That's just the reality, right? But I think a lot of investors look at that technical hurdle and they say, it's impossible for me to do that. And that is simply not the case. Like I have worked with people in their 80s. I have worked with investors who are profoundly not technical. I have worked with investors who have never done anything online ever. And I have gotten them to the point where they are running their own ads and pulling in their own leads online. It is absolutely doable. And you don't have to get it from me. You can get it by going on YouTube. You can get it by buying a book. You can get it by buying a course. You can get it by working with a coach. You can get it from so many different places. The idea that like, just because something's difficult, it's impossible is just, quite frankly, it's like propaganda from people that don't want you to compete with them, right? Like jiu-jitsu is very difficult. Like if you read like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like this martial arts kind of like grappling and wrestling, it's incredibly difficult. It's incredibly complex. And I am very bad at it. So I don't just give up on that. I hire a coach. I go to a class. I get someone that knows more about it and I get them to help me go through that process. And admittedly, this may not be the best metaphor because I'm still very bad at jiu-jitsu, right? But I can do something. And likewise, you can do something if you're letting the technical or the strategic obstacle of this kind of marketing hold you back. I'm telling you that not only are you putting your business in real danger, you're doing it because you're letting the fear override your rational thinking. I've seen this happen literally dozens and dozens and dozens of times. If they can do it, you can absolutely do it as well. All right.
Want to find motivated seller leads online, but don't know where to start? Download our free 2019 Motivated Seller Keyword Report today. AdWords nerds have spent over $5 million this year researching the most profitable keywords for finding motivated seller leads. And you can grab these exact keywords when you download our report at www.adwordsnerds.com/keywords.
So the second insight that I had from running this program, literally running hundreds of investors through this program and helping them set up their ads, get their kind of lead generation systems going, let them start pulling in leads, let them start getting deals, right? It's really great. You get all that stuff, the classic, real estate investing coaching stuff where people are posting checks in the group and everything. And like, it's awesome, right? Don't get me wrong. It's awesome. But there are obviously people who go through that program and don't succeed, right? This is maybe like the dirty secret of coaching, right? Where it's like any real estate investing course you go through, you're going to see all the testimonials of the people who made a bunch of money and the people that were really successful, and the people that you don't hear from, the people that didn't have that success, the people that failed, you don't hear from them. You don't hear anything about them. They are invisible, right? This is every program you're ever going to do. It could be the best program in the world. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't make it through. So one of the things that was really interesting to me was when we started this program, we were really dedicated. We said like, look, we really want people to have success. We want people to get a return on their investment. We want people to get deals from this. And there's two reasons for that, right? One's selfish and one is selfless. Like one is like, hey, we have a responsibility. This is the selfless version. We have a responsibility to these people. They gave us their money. We really need to do right by them and make them successful. Like I know people trust me with money they worked extremely hard to earn. And I take that responsibility very, very seriously. It's my job to get them an ROI. Or I should say, actually, that's not true. I can't actually get them an ROI. What I can do is give them everything they need to get themselves an ROI. And I go above and beyond to do that, right? That's the selfless version. It's my duty. The selfish version of that, the selfish reason behind that is because I know more people are going to take our course more people are going to decide to become my student if they can look and see lots of people having success. So students being successful directly benefits me in a selfish way, as well as just being like my kind of moral responsibility, right? So we really wanted people to get through the course and get success, but we knew this kind of dirty secret of coaching, which is most people won't finish. Lots of people won't, they'll buy it and they won't even open it. Right? They won't show up to the calls. They won't do any of the work. They just spend the money and they didn't get the results. We were like, we know that's going to happen. What can we do in order to prevent that? And one of the things we found was really interesting was in the course, we actually did an experiment where we had challenges. And I said, look, the way this thing was set up was when they did their first deal, right? They owed us money. They owed us a cut of that. That was part of the way that we priced the program. So it's like, look, the program's cheap, but when you do this and you get your first deal from what I teach you, you're going to owe me an additional $3,500, right? At the time, that's how it was priced out. And so they knew that like, hey, they came in, if you do your deal, you owe me this money. So what we did was we did a challenge. We said, look, if you get your ads set up by the end of the week. So remember, this was like a 3-day seminar. We give them the whole week. All you have to do is like follow the process and get your first ad set up. If you can do that, I will waive the $3,500. So the program literally just got $3,500 cheaper. All you have to do is go through the process and set up your first and just one ad. And we had a massive response to that. Just incredible completion rates. Many, many people setting up their ads. People that thought they couldn't do it. People that said it was too hard. People that said it was impossible doing it because we were giving them an incentive to do it, like an immediate cash incentive. And what that did was that got people on that kind of like positive momentum train where all of a sudden they're setting up their ad, then they're getting data. And if they're getting data, then they start getting clicks and they start getting clicks and they start getting leads. And when they started getting leads, they started talking to sellers and they started talking to sellers. And then all of a sudden, hey, they did a deal, right? And it's not magic. What it is they're working the system. They're working the process. They're doing what I'm asking them to do and getting the result that comes from doing that hard work. Again, I don't get them the result. They get themselves the result by following the process that we laid out. And so those two big insights, this idea that like there is a technical hurdle, but it's not as big as you think it is. And then this insight that what matters is actually implementing the process and getting it done and doing whatever you have to do to make sure that you can get those first steps done. Those were really impactful. And we've started kind of working those ideas into my agency business, into my ongoing coaching clients, into my mastermind clients, the REI Marketing Mastery Program. We've really started working with those ideas on multiple levels and seeing big, big results from it. So if you are an investor right now and you are letting this stuff hold you back, I got to tell you that I think it's never been more important, ever been more critical to do this than it is right now. And I think that now is the time. Whether you come in and you work with me as part of the bootcamp program, whether you go get an AdWords for Dummies book, whether you take someone like Chris Chico's course, right, on Facebook ads, doesn't matter where you go, but go somewhere and do something and get some positive momentum behind you, and it will take you far. Now, like I said, actually over the next couple of weeks in this podcast, I'm going to be giving you guys sort of like a free version of this same bootcamp that these other people went through that got such great results. I'm going to be talking about the major issues you need to be aware of right now in terms of what is going on in the REI kind of marketing space. I'm going to be talking about how you can get started on Google Ads, how you can set up your first keywords, your first ads. We're going to be walking through that stuff and helping you do that. All right. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Otherwise, tune in next week. We're going to get into this. As always, this has been Daniel Barrett from AdWordsNerds.com signing off. And hey, we have all our past podcast episodes as well as show notes for every single episode over at AdWordsNerds.com/podcast. Go and check it out. And hey, this episode was actually streamed live on the REI Marketing Nerds Facebook group. That's AdWordsNerds.com/group. And go check that out as well. All right, guys. Hope you're having an awesome week. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.